And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host for tonight's event, the Geekapalooza Comedy Tour here at Dragon Con. She's a computational media student at the Georgia Institute of Technology. Please join me in welcoming the one, the only, Ms. Allie Forman.
Hello. Hi. Hi. The number of you that looked up when he said the thing about the oxygen masks is really concerning. I'm really worried if this was actually a plane, how that would go. So before I continue to introduce myself and make you laugh uproariously, can anybody tell me who I am today at Dragon Con? Bobby! Bobby! Oh, there we go. I'm Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers. I clearly went for the sex appeal today. I brought it out. But hey, everybody, I'm Allie. I'm 18, so I'm kind of young. I'm not really sure what the median age is in here, 20s, 30s, 80s if you're Pete. But if anything I say tonight, makes you feel a little bit uncomfortable, sexually or whatever, like if it turns you on a little bit, I'm looking at you, sir, third row, plaid shirt. I could be your daughter's age, and that's disgusting. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding it. I'm into it if you are. But yeah, I actually went to prom in this building a year ago. Like a year ago. Full dress, whole kind of thing. Oh, that actually reminds me. If anybody after the show wants to check a couple hotel rooms for my bra, that would be awesome. I'm kidding, of course. I didn't lose my bra at prom. My English teacher kept it. I do find it odd when you find random pieces of clothing, around the town or wherever. You get like a shoe in a tree, a lone shoe in a tree, or like underwear by the side of the highway. What is somebody riding down the interconnector and there's like, these are so tight. Like no one does that while driving. Well, I do, but I don't think other people should in general. I do have a missing bra though. I don't know if I left it somewhere or it got stolen. But now every time I see a bra somewhere that it doesn't belong, I kind of think, is that you? And I get really emotional, and the Titanic theme plays in the back of my head, which is ironic because my boobs are named Kate and Leo. On the topic of accessories or necessities, depending on how you look at bras, obviously that's debatable today. But is anyone here wearing a fedora? Does anyone frequently wear fedoras as an accessory? Well, I'm just gonna give you some advice. If you're ever wearing a fedora as an accessory, right before you leave the house, take off the fedora. It makes everyone look so creepy. Do you guys want to hear a really mean joke? Like a really mean joke? Clap if you want to hear a really mean joke. Nice, okay. All right, well, what is the difference between a fedora and a tampon? Fedoras are for assholes. I am joking, but I do think fedoras have a tendency to make people look creepy or attract creepy people. I ride MARTA all the time, and I see the same guy. He wears a fedora, and he holds like a weekly appointment to stare at my boobs. Seriously, I could be wearing a raincoat, a poncho, a burqa, and he'll be like, they're in there. I know they're in there. He'll stare me down. It's ridiculous. He has spent more time looking for my boobs than CNN did looking for that Malaysian airplane. But in general, I like to think that I'm sensitive to the struggles of other people. I really do. I have a lot of empathy for people that are having a hard time in their day-to-day lives. I see the homeless people around Atlanta a lot of the time, and I have it hits me really emotionally. I have a hard time with that. But I never feel like I can give them money on the street. Because I feel like if I give them money, it might go towards drugs or alcohol, and I can't be an enabler, So I always go and I buy them like a McDonald's sandwich or a hamburger. Or like if I see prostitutes selling their bodies for money, I can't imagine doing that. That's so wrong. I only sell my body for a McDonald's sandwich or a hamburger. I'm just kidding. Obviously, I'm just kidding. I don't eat meat. I'm a vegetarian, obviously. But when I'm not studying or working or being incredibly socially conscious, I love to go to the movies. Clap if you love to go to the movies and or are dressed as something from a movie. Nice, nice. Well, I've been really busy. I never got to see any of the Oscar nominees from last year. I didn't even get to see 12 Years a Slave. And at this point, I don't think I'll see it at all, because I haven't seen the first 11, and you know how it can be with sequels. It's the same reason I haven't seen Apollo 13, and at this point, I am literally never going to see the movie 300. I have the opposite problem with the movie Son of God. I already know too much. Not only do I know how it ends, I know how Return of the Son of God ends too, and they haven't even made it yet. I also feel like at some point there should have been a movie just called God. Now that may have been the last 15 Morgan Freeman movies, but still. Movies can also be pretty good for a date. If you go to the movie theaters with your boyfriend or girlfriend, that can be pretty good. I tend to think that it can be awkward too. Just a quick side note, little PSA. If your PDA requires the morning after pill, you're doing it wrong. But I think movies can actually not be great for relationships. I think they can be incredibly anti-relationships. Like a guy took me to go see the movie Gravity. And I don't know about you, I mean, it was visually stimulating and everything, but the only thing I took away from it was that even if you're Sandra Bullock, an astronaut/doctor, in your underwear, in a sealed capsule, the only woman in outer space, George Clooney will still find a way to leave you. But that being said, I have to keep hope alive and believe that somewhere he's floating out in the cosmos, still looking for my missing bra. Now, up next, we're going to hear from Lefton, who is a faculty member at Georgia Tech, so he is supposed to teach me things. He has been in comedy for 25 years. He's a Nobel Prize winner, maybe? He told me that. That might be a thing. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure has never been arrested. Everybody, Lou!
Thank you. Keep it going for Ali Forman. Yeah. There are a lot more women at Georgia Tech than when you guys went there. I think we are at a record number of women this semester, like 38% women. And I'm not sure who's happier about that, the women or the men. They're both very happy with that number. My name is Lou Lefton. I am faculty at Georgia Tech. I'm in the math department. Any math geeks out there? Yeah? F of X, yeah? My people. All right, so for exercise number 1, we're going to go ahead and no, I'm sorry. I won't do a lot of math jokes, although I might do a few just because you're my people too. I love doing Dragon Con. This is a lot of fun. You know, I was almost late getting here because there was, I don't know if you guys know, probably most of you have been here all day. I was driving in and going down Ponce, brake lights, can't get past. They're all blocking, flashing lights. It's like, what the hell is going on? I'm late, I'm gonna be late. There's a woman standing outside of her car in the middle of the road and she has a full beard. I mean, I kid you not. This woman is completely facial hair down to here, and she's freaking out because her dog just got hit. Her dog apparently jumped out of the car. Her dog, lying in the road, 2 heads. I mean, it's like bizarre. And the guy who hit her probably was 8.5 feet tall if he was 5 feet. He was just towering over here. So it's like I barely made it here because I called up Pete and I'm saying, I'm sorry, there's this freak accident and I'm not going to make it. And, oh, really? That was a long way to go, wasn't it? That was, for one pun, you had to go all the way. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I did stop. There's a lot of new people in town. Anybody here from out of town? Yeah. Where are you from? Alabama. Who's further than Alabama? Oh, Glorg. Great. I couldn't hear anything. I was hoping someone would name a planet, but no. Yeah, a lot of out-of-towners walking around the streets. I was also stopped after the freak accident, nearly ran over somebody who's wandering around lost. They were saying, how do I get to Dragon Con? And it's like, okay, I'm looking at, they show me the address they're trying to get to. I said, you got to go down. You're going to go down past the Waffle House. You're going to turn, and you're going to see the street. It's called Peachtree. I don't remember whether it's Peachtree Place or whatever, but then you go down the Peachtree Street, and then you'll see a CVS, and it's just on the other side of that. And then I realized those directions will get you anywhere in Atlanta. Just go past the Waffle House, hit some street named Peachtree, you're on the other side of the CVS. Bam, you're there. I have kids. Anybody here parents? How many people are parents by applause? Wow. How many people are parents by pregnancy, which is the other really common way for that to happen? Yeah. I got 3 kids. I've got an older daughter, and then I have twins. And then we had to stop because my wife, also being a mathematician, and I discussed this, and we weren't sure whether it was an arithmetic or a geometric progression, but we were pretty sure the 3rd pregnancy was out of the question. My twins, when they were very little, they developed their own language. Freaked out my wife. And apparently, any twins or parents of twins out there by applause, yeah? Did you guys develop your own language, you in the back? No, she says, in English. Very good. Well, mine did. And you read the parenting books, they say, it's fine. They're going to be fine, because it says it's actually pretty common. It's not a very, I tried to reassure my wife. I said, so they'll develop their own language, but they'll outgrow it. They'll get a little older, and they'll learn to program in Java or C++. Let them write a compiler when they're little, get it out of the system. Thank you, my computer geeks. All the jokes that I can't do at the Laughing Skull are coming out tonight. At the Laughing Skull, they just look at you like, what? What's Objective-C? Is that like some C that's fairer than all the other C's? So at Georgia Tech, I teach. I also do some research, and I do some fun stuff in the IT world, the computer world. I was sitting around waiting for this computer to do this, just waiting. I was eating my lunch the other day, eating my alphabet soup, watching the computer, kind of browsing, surfing the web, and it occurred to me that Campbell's Alphabet Soup, what the hell is wrong? It's 2014. Campbell's Alphabet Soup, still only available in one font. Huge marketing opportunity missed, I'd say. Bold new flavors. I would like a can of hobo, and I can eat it right from the can. I can make font jokes here. I love you. Yeah, I teach at Georgia Tech, and we use Nathan Deal's standard approved grading policy. All of you folks who have been through the university system of Georgia know the recent legislation requires all faculty in any state university to use the same grading policy, right? 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to $90,000 will buy a B, 70 to 80 you got a C. Makes it easy for transfer credits that way. But, and I teach math. I was a graduate student in math, and when I first started learning mathematics, I was a math TA. I had a bit of an advantage, I would say, as a math TA, because I spoke English. Oh. Now, before you just misconstrue that as a racist comment, I got to tell you, math is a very international subject, right? We have a lot of my colleagues, they're from all over the world, and I learned a lot of mathematics from non-native English speakers. I learned statistics from a woman, actually, who couldn't say square. This is a real handicap in that class. It's like, X squared plus Y squared is Z squared, which follows a chi-squared distribution, and we'll test with T squared. And by the time I was done writing my notes, I had like a whole notebook full of frightened variables. I like to do some kind of comedic and teaching combinations, because I do comedy, I do teaching, and I want to. Sometimes I found that students don't really appreciate jokes when you make them part of the test. Sometimes I'll just intentionally put an impossible to prove theorem as exercise number 1. That's kind of cool. You wait about 45 minutes into the test, and then you go, Stand up, you go, you know what? I was working out the answer key here, and number 1 is impossible. I'm really sorry. You got about 10 more minutes, though. I'm not going to count number 1. So if you've been really working on it, trying to get that for the first 45 minutes and just beating your head against the wall, that's a 0-point problem right now. You got 10 more minutes. Another fun, yeah, that's me. That's me. Another fun thing to do, I like to do is you wait till you give an exam. It's completely silent, right? 10 minutes into the test, the students are completely focused. Concentration is peaked. Caffeine is kicked in. And then I'll just stand up and I'll go, okay, time's up. They go, what? What? Time's up. Oh, gosh. I had my watch on backwards. I thought it was 10 till. Sorry. You got plenty. Here you go, sir. Your retainer, you spit that out. It's math has a lot of applications, though. You know, I use math every day. I use math. I use complicated math. People say, "I use math." Yeah, sure, addition, subtraction. No, I use complex numbers all the time. I use them to balance my checkbook. No, it's perfect because you got the real part. That's what the bank thinks you have. Then you got the imaginary part. That's what you're spending. Completely independent. What else? I wasn't always interested in math. I wanted to be an inventor when I was a kid. I was a very curious kid, and I was also kind of a smart mouth kid. That's probably how I ended up in comedy doing, because my dad would say stuff like, Lou, I've had it up to here with that crap. I'd say, gee, Dad, only this much more, and you'll be full of crap then. And I guess that makes you a crap head. You're grounded, right? Because that's how you get punished when you're a kid. You're grounded. I go, okay, I'm grounded. No free electrons on me. I won't carry a charge for a month, Dad. I'm grounded. Come on. But I was curious as a kid. I used to go exploring. I loved to go exploring in my mom's and dad's bedroom. That's where the good shit is. You know, I remember looking in all the drawers and, you know, finding some interesting things. I found one time my mom, she had this electric rolling pin. You ever seen those things? I mean, it had all the fluted edges for pie crusts and stuff, so I put that back in the kitchen where it belonged. She's over there looking for the corkscrew at book club. Oh, it's in the drawer over there. What? What is this doing in the kitchen? You're grounded. Okay. What else? I was. I'll tell you a little bit about when I was a kid. I liked to invent stuff too. I was really kind of thought I could be like a little maker, you know, a little inventor. I wanted to do, and I would give you this advice if you're out there and you're just young folks. Your folks are young, starting your careers professionally, and take the hard problems, the really challenging problems. That's what I did when I was wanting to be an inventor. I wanted the really difficult problems. Like, for example, the major holy grails of inventing, right? A perpetual motion machine. Perfect for the skeptic track here, right? Because I invented one. Actually, I have one that works. I've got it all. I mean, it'll actually work. It's a perpetual motion machine. It takes forever to wind it up. But literally, actually. But then it'll just keep going. Yeah, and I also invented a time machine. I have a time machine, actually a working time machine in my basement. Another one of the great holy grails of inventing. Now, this particular time machine, it's not completely functional. I need to make a version 2.0, but right now I can go forward at a constant speed, and 1 second per second. And so I get in, and I'll set the dial for like 5 minutes in the future, you know, just a little test run, and then I wait, and then I go ding, and then you get out, and you check, and like check the computer and the news, and it's like 5 minutes in the future. It's awesome. All right, what else? Radio waves. I love radio. You guys like radio? I was really into radio, and when I was a kid, I thought it was just fascinating. There was all this music and voice that was just flowing through the room, and you couldn't see it, but you know, if you had this special device, you could hear it. And I really, you know, radio is just part of the electromagnetic spectrum. It's just different different frequencies than visible light. And I realized, did some studying, and I actually did an experiment. I figured out you can actually see radio waves, and I'd like to do a little science here for the skeptics. I would like to go ahead and show you how you can see radio waves. And because it's an electromagnetic spectrum, you need to look at a light source, some source of electromagnetic spectrum. And because of the frequencies, you need a very thin grating, so you need to close your eyes, almost completely closed, but just open them a little there, and then you see them wiggling around, and those are radio waves. They look a little like eyelashes, and it's pretty cool. All right, what else can I tell you about? Before I got married, I had a girlfriend. Now I should do something you guys can relate to. Wait, I want to. Oh, that was mean. That was mean. No, I did actually. I went out with a deaf girl. Anybody here date somebody who's deaf? It was awkward, but it was kind of fun because but we broke up after a while. But we would be having sex, and she would she'd need to have a hand free from moaning, and it was, oh, they're turning on me. All right, back to the math jokes. All right, then if you don't like the deaf girlfriend joke, you're definitely not taking that one. Okay, here we go. So, as I said, I teach, and now they're going to arrest me. Another thing I like to do that's related to math is I like to carry a negative sign around with me. Carry a minus sign. And it's really actually pretty convenient because, you'll go up to a place. For one time, I actually accidentally had it in my hand when I went to heat up my coffee in the microwave, and I put it in for negative 1 minute. It came out frozen. So be careful with the minus sign. But I took, you take it to those take a number places, or you go to buy some yogurt or something, and they say, "Okay, please take a number. Now serving number 3. Number 3." He says, "Excuse me, I've got -7." -7 actually comes before 3. Before 0, in fact, but I was in the bathroom, so I'm next. Cool, man. I didn't know we had minuses in here. If you're really lucky, you get the number 11. You can put the minus sign over the top of the 2, and you turn it into pi. You jump ahead 7 spaces. Now serving number 3. No, 3. Okay, number 4. No, wait, I've got pi. Cool, I didn't know we had transcendentals in here. That's so cool. One time I went into one of those places, and I went to, please take a number, and the guy said, "Sorry, dude, we're out of numbers." I said, No, you're not. I'm a professional. What was the last one that came out? There's more. There's more where that came from. So, as I said, I was kind of a smart-ass kid, and liked to kind of think about mathematical things. One of the things I liked was Russell's paradox. This statement is false, that kind of thing. So one of the things I remember very distinctly when I was a young child, I was listening to the radio, because I love radio, and I heard this radio station. It was an all-request weekend. Anything you call up and request, we'll play it all request weekend, all weekend long. And we're also having a commercial-free weekend. No commercials all weekend long. It's an all-request commercial-free weekend. So I called them up, and I requested a commercial. Well, we got to play it, but we can't play it, but we got it. They went off the air for 10 minutes. It was awesome. So what else? You guys are all dressed up. You've seen a lot of very confident people. And how many people are here? So we got some folks from out of town. How many people here have been here all since day 1 of Dragon Con? All of you? Nice. Still tomorrow too, right? Yeah. Man, Monday. That's right. All right. Excellent. Well, you know what? I don't have that kind of commitment. I mean, as I said, I got a wife. I got kids. It's great to be here though, and I was going to try to bring my daughters, but I'm really glad I didn't. They're older now, so they're probably here, and they're probably out there somewhere. But I remember when I was growing up, when they were real little, or rather when they were growing up very little, we didn't actually live in Atlanta. We lived in New Orleans. Anyone here from New Orleans? Yeah? So you probably know those ladders they put at Mardi Gras, right? If you're from New Orleans. So we had, when our kids were little, we lived in New Orleans, and they put these kids up on ladders at Mardi Gras parades. And it was a little weird taking your kids to Mardi Gras parades, but it turns out, first we were going to say, no way, people are going to be like showing their tits, and there's going to be drunk people, and it's going to be crazy debauchery. We're not taking our kids. They're going, no, Mardi Gras is a different scene if you go out to the suburbs. And it's true, because they put the kids up on the ladders, people were throwing beads, and there's like grandmas there, and people were like, show your tits, and grandma's like, so it's really more family friendly. It's much cooler. My wife was actually pregnant during Mardi Gras, and she had, so we had to go to a costume party, and she went as a king cake, which I thought was perfect, so for that. You guys would appreciate that. What else can I tell you? We got a few more minutes. Maybe I'll close off with some impressions here. I can finish. I can do some math jokes for you, right? So I do. I like to talk to. I actually do math stand-up comedy for like math conferences and stuff. And one of the things I do is it's the joke. The talk is called "Infinity Bottles of Beer on the Wall," right? Which is, it's a great song, Infinity Bottles of Beer on the Wall. I like to tell people it's a simple song. Of course, it means it has no proper normal subsongs. And for those of you who have taken an abstract algebra class worth its salt. And so it goes like this, it goes like infinity bottles of beer on the wall, infinity bottles of beer. You take one down, you pass it around. Infinity bottles of beer on the wall, infinity. You start that one up if you're not sure how long the bus ride is. You'll still be singing when you get there, I promise. Yeah, infinity is just one of those crazy concepts in math that people have a hard time understanding. But another one I like to do is I'll do an impression here. This is my impression of a cheerleader in 8 dimensions. Right, so here we go, cheerleader, and I'm gonna pull out some math jokes for you. Cheerleader in 8 dimensions. Ready? Okay. We'll put you to the test. We're better than the rest. We're gonna be the best. We're never gonna rest. My arms are still moving. They're just orthogonal to your 3 right now. Thank you, people who passed linear algebra. I guess I'll tell you a little bit more. Couple last minute things here. As I said, my wife and I have been here for a while. We moved from New Orleans, and she's really gotten into generic drugs. And it's not just, I want to buy the same type of medicine, but it's not the name brand. It's actually just like, I open up her medicine cabinet, and she's just got a bottle marked pills. Some liquid says medicine on it. What are those? Those are generic drugs. You just take those whenever you need them. I saw some great costumes coming in here, though. I did see. It did remind me. It reminds me of Mardi Gras a lot. I saw a couple who came in as a. I wasn't sure what they were because there's a lot of theme costumes, obviously comic books and TV and all this. But there's a couple. There was like a cowboy and an Indian, and then later I saw an angel and a devil, and then I saw this couple, and it's like he was dressed up like a crab. And I couldn't tell what she was dressed up like. It turns out she was a yeast infection. So there was like this sexually transmitted disease theme that I didn't even know about. It could happen at Dragon Con. I'm wearing the yeast infection outfit. I'm trying to get an equal balance of groans and laughs. So I think I'm right about where I need to be to finish it up. As I said, I shouldn't do that one either. No. Oh, come on. Come on, do it. So okay, you bet you didn't like the deaf girlfriend joke. All right, so I'm going to end with this. What's that? I'm going to end this. So I grew up with girls, of course, and my daughters. I also have sisters, so I've always been around girls. And my daughters, you know, the thing about kids, I'll tell you this, for those of you who are parents, kids are great because they don't lose their imagination. This is one thing I really love about Dragon Con is you guys are still very playful. You still role play. It's great. You're in touch with that creative, imaginative side. So many people, and they become adults, they're afraid of that and they lose it. But kids are not, obviously, you know. And I remember working in the garden with my daughter, and we were like, we're just playing around in the garden, and we're just playing, and I'm the dirt man, and she's, yeah, and I'm dirt girl, yay, and we're the dirt family, and we're gonna have dirt food, and we're gonna put dirt, and we're just like, everything was dirt, and we're just having a great time. And then my neighbor pulls up, and in the driveway next to our house, and I immediately, like, I clamp down, right, and she's still like, I'm still dirt girl, and I'm still like, oh, hi, Mrs. Edwards, how are you? I'm very nice to, good, beautiful day, isn't it? And she's like, oh, so, Han, what you doing? And she goes, I'm dirt girl, and we're the dirt family. And I said, yeah, that's, we were just playing it. She goes, and my dad said that after dinner, we could watch dirty movies. It's like, well, we said that because it was dirt, because everything was dirt. And it's like, oh, no, come on, Dad, please. You said we could watch the dirty movies. It's like, okay, you know, and then he's gonna take me and we're gonna tuck me into bed and read me dirty books. It's like, okay, well, and then so I'm allowed to see my daughter every other Thursday now, thanks to my neighbor. All right, so I'm gonna close with this other impression. You guys have been really a great audience. I've enjoyed this, but so this is to show you. Since I grew up with my sisters, I have daughters. I've been living among women all my life, so I understand the female condition. I know, you know, for example, just last month I got my period. I'm a member of the Punctuation Mark of the Month Club, and so I'm pretty excited about that. I've been waiting for it because after you finish the semicolon, I can turn it to page 2 and start with the ellipsis. So. No, I understand the female condition, and just to demonstrate my empathy, I'm going to close here with my impression of a menstrual cramp. Yeah, this is my impression of a menstrual cramp. Just so you know, I get it. Okay? Okay? I know. This is difficult for me. I come to your town, I sing and I juggle. Oh, shit! Ow! Ow! My name's Lou Lefton. Thank you very much.
Everybody give it up for Lou one more time. Killing it. God, I am loving all of the costumes in this audience right now. I'm absolutely loving it. Sir, what are you in the front row? What are you? No, you are asleep for the last 15 minutes. Guys, how great was Lou? Come on. You missed out, sir. You missed out. Well, that being said, he's going to be awake for the next 25 minutes, and here is Pete Ludovice, the only engineering professor by day and comedian by night, and the guy who got me into stand-up comedy. Give him a big round of applause.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I guess this is dedicated to the Boy Scout asleep in the front row. We're going to start with a musical number, right? Because this is a jam-packed event, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of energy. And to keep that energy going, like I said, musical number. And who better to keep that energy? Let's hope our... Yeah. No. I need the mic up a little. We're going to start that again. Can I get the mic up just a little? Or we need that down a little, because I'm not that loud. Especially when I'm doing an Elvis imitation. All right, let's try it again, ladies and gentlemen, because let's face it, the king is the person you want to kick something like this off. Down in Atlanta at the Skeptics track, I'm gonna larp to my heart's desire. Got a whole lot of money for collectibles, for characters from Soulfire.
There's 1,000 stormtroopers waiting out there with heat stroke from the hot Atlanta air. Your crotch is chafing from the rubber rubbing down there. Viva Dragon Con! Viva Dragon Con! Sing it with me now. Viva, viva Dragon Con! Thank you very much. That'll teach me to do. Musical numbers. Probably shouldn't do that, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm a chemical engineer. You thought the math guy was bad. I brought slides with me, ladies and gentlemen. No, and it's tough. It's tough. I was actually out in San Francisco about a month ago. I was doing the American Chemical Society. Ironically, a lot like this audience. Yeah. Only difference, you guys are sitting on the front row, so I do appreciate that. That's very nice. But if you think about it, Dragon Con, the American Chemical Society, both large national conventions, both have a lot of nerds, and both have a lot of guys who think they're Darth Vader. The only difference is you guys actually wear the costume, right? You don't see Darth Vader at the American Chemical Society until somebody's caught in a difficult question in some sort of talk, right? They're sitting there talking. All of a sudden, they'll get a difficult question, and they'll go Darth Vader on your ass.
Yes, Obi-Wan, your question is a good one, but you're a geek and your fly is open, so sit your ass down before you feel the sting of my Jedi laser pointer.
Yeah. No, what's great is Dragon Con's expanding, right? I mean, the thing I see now is you have a maker and robotics section. I think that's really cool. And actually, if you look in the back, you can actually see some Georgia Tech admissions brochures there and at the maker and robotics section. We're always looking for people that do that. But robotics scare me because I do a weekly radio show and I interviewed one of the guys that does robotics research at Georgia Tech. He does research in how to get robots to trick human beings. Has he never watched a sci-fi movie in his life? I kid you not. I asked him live on the radio, I said, why would you ever want to do that? He said, so you could trick grandma into taking her medication when she doesn't want to. I'm like, okay, I can live with that. But I'm afraid that as I get older, the only two robots I'm ever going to encounter are the robot that tricks me into hopping into the chute and the robot on the other end that grinds me into Soylent Green. Right, we'll live in some Matrix world where they liquefy the old to feed to the young. Well, Mr. Anderson, how does grandma taste? All right, so Allie is right. I am much older than her. The scary thing is my daughter's also a student at Georgia Tech, and she's your age, so when you tell the boob jokes, that really freaks me out. But giving my advanced age, ladies and gentlemen, and the fact that it's way past my bedtime, the rest of my set will be brought to you by Red Bull, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, Red Bull, because crystal meth is really expensive. I believe that violates the Georgia Tech alcohol and drug policy, but thank you, ma'am. I appreciate that. But no, it's great to see you guys sitting in the front row. I like to tell jokes in class, right? Because I teach an 8 o'clock applied numerical methods class. And that's exactly how my students react, actually. And like I said, I like to tell jokes in that class because one, it's at 8 o'clock, and two, it's applied numerical methods. So I'll start with a couple jokes, but what do my students at Georgia Tech do? They write them down. I'm not kidding, right? He's scribbling away. There's always some guy on the first day of class who says, is that going to be on the final exam? Normally, no, but I give him a little guidance, right? I tell him, if it's got a punchline in it, it probably won't be on the final. If it's got a formula in it, it probably will be on the final. But if it's got a lot of yelling, screaming, and swearing, could go either way. All right, so like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I did actually bring some slides with me, and I know what you're thinking. Pete, slides? We thought this was a comedy show. But here's the weird thing. For those of you that have not been in a technical college lecture in a while, you have to understand that college lectures are a lot like Mexican food. We don't have new slides. We just have 10,000 of the same old slides. Every time we give a lecture, it's the same stuff, just a different order. So again, same ingredients, different order, a lot like Mexican food. And like Mexican food, ladies and gentlemen, when we're done here tonight, you'll feel a little bloated, a little gassy, and you'll wish you had drunk more tequila. So we'll start with geeks like us, ladies and gentlemen, to determine whether or not you may or may not be a geek. I think the answer for the whole audience is yes. Then we'll talk about my favorite research application, statistical mechanics. Thank you. Yeah, the excitement is palpable. I'll talk a little bit about chemical stuff, whether or not humor has a place in science and technology, and then whether or not we can use it to market science and technology. And because this is the Skeptics track, and anywhere in Georgia I get run out of town on the rail by talking about these jokes, science and religion. And then I will summarize before you turn on me like a pack of dingoes. So first, are you a nerd or a geek? Well, first of all, I think most of you in here are. But this is really directed at the friends, the spouses, the significant others, right? You probably drag someone here, and they're the person that wonders the same thing my wife does. After a while, does the nerdiness rub off? I'm afraid to say, ladies and gentlemen, over the years, it can rub off. The good news is, contrary to what a lot of women I dated in college thought, it cannot be transmitted sexually. But there's a simple test you can use to tell whether or not you're turning into a nerd or a geek because you're hanging out with someone that likes to do cosplay and things like that. It was actually formulated by a Georgia Tech alum. His name, Jeff Foxworthy. He actually majored in industrial engineering management for a couple years at Georgia Tech. His will tell you whether or not you're a redneck, but if you answer yes to any one of the following questions, ladies and gentlemen, you may, in fact, be a nerd. If you ever refer to any act of physical intimacy as doing the old Laplace transform, you may be a nerd. If you think cosplay is fun with trigonometry, you may be a nerd. That's good. I wrote that one just for you guys. If you know the difference between string theory and string cheese, the bar is low on that one. You may be a nerd. If you color coordinate your USB key that you're wearing a little lanyard around your neck with your shirt, tie, pants, or skirt, or refer to it as a fashion accessory or bling, you may be a nerd. If you use the phrase supercritical fluid extraction and, if you just use the phrase supercritical fluid extraction, you may be a nerd. And this one's very telling. If when you make love, it sounds a lot less like, oh, 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 and a lot more like, oh, 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 1 0, 1 1, oh, 1 0, 1 0. Yes. You do not get that kind of a response at the punchline here in Atlanta from binary mathematics jokes. If you're good, I'll do that in hexadecimal later in the show. So let's begin with statistical mechanics, ladies and gentlemen, and the original party animal, Ludwig Boltzmann. And people say to me, well, Pete, I don't like statistical mechanics because it's not edgy, dangerous, or cool. Until you realize shortly after he founded that particular field, he took his own life. It was very tragic. He passed it off to his student, Paul Ehrenfest, who shortly after he started working on this, took his own life as well. If you've ever studied statistical mechanics, you may have considered the same thing. But at least it's a little more edgy and dangerous than you think. And people always ask me, what can you use it for? Well, a good friend of mine out at Fermilab showed you can use statistical mechanics to figure out the best way to board an airliner. His conclusion, random boarding works best. Our conclusion, we hate those frequent flyer douchebags. I'm one of them, always sitting in that exit row, right, because I got a lot of miles. Did you know you have to help people out the door? I was not aware of this. I'll be honest, if I'm sitting next to your grandmother in the exit row on an airplane, I'm throwing her down on the inflatable ramp and riding her down like a snowboard. Just being honest. Let me give you an actual example that comes out of our research at Georgia Tech. This is work I do with a guy named Cliff Henderson. And we're actually trying to make the cell phone you have clipped to your belt, because normal people put them in their pocket, but here, it's clipped to your belt, much like Batman from the 1970s, right? He was our role model because he wore his underwear on the outside. Yeah, that's a good one. So we've sort of reached a limit to how small we can write these features on a chip, and that determines how dense the transistors are, how fast we can make these work. So what we've done now is we've taken a block copolymer. That's a big, long molecule, a polymeric molecule, that has two different blocky ends. One part is polystyrene. That's the stuff they make those real crunchable glasses out of. The other part, polymethyl methacrylate, that's what the big aquarium window at the Georgia Aquarium is made out of. They hate each other just enough so that if you put them down under the right conditions, they will actually separate into nice little rows. You then etch it. One of them etches more than the other, and you can make something 2, 4, 8 times as small. The problem is I'm the guy that's got to do the simulation. So we simulate these things and try to keep from getting that little bridge, that defect. And we all know what that defect means, right? It means the chip doesn't work. We've got to throw it out and start over. And if it does escape the quality control, it means whoever puts together computers in your house will swear a lot. So the problem is, this thing takes about 100 years to simulate this multi-million atom simulation. So we cheat, ladies and gentlemen. That's what all good scientists and engineers do. The question is, do we cheat less this year than we did last year? We use 3 different methods to cheat. One is we use this middle scale. We take a big chunk of polymer and approximate it as a single sphere. It's like the physicists that approximate a cow as a sphere. Where are the physicists here? You know who I'm talking about, right? Then we play some statistical mechanical tricks. It's called protracted colored noise dynamics. That gives us a speed up of another factor of 100. We basically redistribute the energy states. That's what statistical mechanics is all about. And we put it along the contour and make this polymer snake back and forth so it equilibrates 100 times faster. The guy who named this motion called it reptation. Like a reptile, like a snake. Sounds really goofy, but the guy who gave it that name won the Nobel Prize in Physics, so we're stuck with it now. That's the one thing about Nobel laureates. You always remember what they tell you. I was at a conference at the National Academies building, and a guy named John Popel, who won the Nobel Prize in computational chemistry, said something to me that I will never forget. We're in the atrium, we were eating lunch. He looks at me and me alone and says, "Pete, this lunch sucks." It's one of those dry turkey sandwiches. Has no relevance here, but you always remember what a Nobel laureate tells you. And then finally, to get another additional speed up of 200, we use graphics processing units. So basically, we play video games, right? I'm thinking we get a lot of gamers here. We just bought a whole bunch of these Titan Z boards. Does anyone have a Titan Z board that they use for gaming? Because if you do, you got to get out more, man. This thing costs $3,000. Cheap for a supercomputer node, very expensive and indicative of some sort of addiction problem if you actually use it for video gaming. But wait, Pete, I can't do that. I hate math. Thank you. Well, I'm guessing there are a few people that don't want to. Trust me, just go out in the street, you'll find somebody. And the problem is, there's something we always use in statistical mechanics. It's the base of the natural logarithm, e. If you like math, you just understand this is a number, 2.7 and some change. It is the solution to a differential equation that gives you exponential decay. But normal people, they think E is some mystical quantity, and if we tell you what it is, then we'll have to kill you. So they're afraid of it, and they're afraid of it because we don't teach it right. We always teach exponential decay with the example of radioisotope decay. But what we forget is that nobody gives a crap about radioisotope decay. Where are my nuclear engineers? Anyone here? Okay, few guys do, yeah. This is the guy, I do a song to West Side Story about I like to work with americium. He's the guy that yells up in the back, "Dude, it's americium." No poetic license whatsoever. So I like to teach this to my students. Instead of using radioisotope decay, I use cuisine standards as a function of time since my last meal. At the beginning, they're high, right? You're thinking of fine dining for your next meal. After a little while, you're willing to settle for fast food. You wait long enough, ladies and gentlemen, and the 4-second rule becomes the 430-second rule. And then finally, you wait long enough, you are willing to engage in eating one of George's favorite cuisines, boiled peanuts. Okay, if you're from outside of Georgia and you've never heard of boiled peanuts are, well, they're boiled peanuts. I don't know what to say about that. And they're a little weird. And it's weird because when you first move down here, like I did 20 years ago, you pull over to that roadside stand where they sell velvet paintings of dogs playing poker. And the guy selling the boiled peanuts, he's got an accent. You don't understand it. He says, "Bald peanuts. Pete, get yourself some bald peanuts." Like, dude, I hope your peanuts are bald. Because if they got hair in them, they're not peanuts. All right, let me take a more relevant statistical application, ladies and gentlemen. It has to do with the fact that I'm a type A loser and I often eat my dinner out of a vending machine. I'm sure we've got some people here like that tonight. I always wondered why the Oreo cookies in the vending machine sucked. They were much drier. I actually had a hypothesis that I was getting ripped off on the cream filling in the Oreo vending packs. But being a scientist, I wanted to test this hypothesis. I didn't have the time. I found the only person who was willing to test it. This was my daughter Miranda for her 4th grade science project. Isn't she cute? Yeah. She's adorable. Now, every time I write something inappropriate on her Facebook page, she reminds that when I'm older, the person that'll choose the home I'm going into is her. So I ate all the leftover cookies, helped her with the statistics, and boom, there are the data. If you look at that far right bar, that's the filling from the vending and the store packs. They are spot on, right? Those error bars are the 99% confidence intervals. But if you look at the cookies, the max, the min, or the average, the ones from the store are about 15% heavier. So we were amazed at this. This is not what we expected. So we did what any decent scientist did. We reached out to the scientific community. We wrote R.J.R. Nabisco. And they told me there was no difference in the way they manufactured this, but I thought, are you obtuse? Did you look at the data? So I wrote them again, and they assured me there was no cream filling conspiracy. But I was undaunted. I wrote one more time, and then they just got mean. That was just cruel. But the fact remains, they're different. Anyone want to hazard a guess as to why the ones in the store would be heavier? Okay, age. Well, it has to do with age on the shelf, yeah. Yes, it has to do with hydration, and I do appreciate the performance art that you did as well with that, sir. That was very nice. I tried that at NSF once. They threw me right out of the building. Yeah, but if you think about it, the cellophane is very, very good. It's a very good barrier problem, but aluminum is basically impermeable to water. So very likely what happens, they set them on the store shelf for a little while, and in Atlanta, the high humidity makes them makes them taste better, right? So that's our conclusion. But what it really tells you about RJR Nabisco is that they make really crappy cookies. You got to sit them on the shelf for a while to get them to work. All right, let me talk a bit about chemical stuff. How many people in this audience are like me? They like to read that ingredient list on the side of consumer packages, right? It's a little scary, though, isn't it? Yeah. So because it's so scary, I like to do a bit, and I've actually done this at Diamond Dave's Piano Bar and Steakhouse up in Kennesaw, Georgia. It's a bit I like to call, there are no bad chemicals, just bad chemical names. Because think about it, you read that list and it says things like xanthan gum, guar gum, carrageenan. They sound like nuclear waste, but they're all natural plant extracts. Why don't we call them all natural plant extracts? Carrageenan is a natural seaweed extract, right? If we called it natural seaweed extract, supermodels in LA would be paying $500 a jar and slathering it all over themselves. But in contrast, carrageenan sounds like something that oozes out of Jabba the Hutt. And that really is the problem. Or out of me. Yes, in fact, it has. So that really is the problem. In fact, the only industry that's figured this out is the United States auto industry, right? They figured out how to market this stuff because they gave you what everyone in this room loves, new car smell, right? How many people love new car smell? Yeah, see, not so many, because maybe you're a little educated and you're aware of the fact that new car smell is the evaporation of the toxic, carcinogenic, mind-numbing chemicals from the plastic parts of your car's interior. Exhibit the effect right out there. Yeah, it's something I've been sniffing. Right, so you know it's bad, but what do you do after 3 months after it's dissipated? You go buy a little piece of cardboard impregnated with the same toxic, carcinogenic, mind-numbing chemicals hanging on your rearview mirror as the new car smell air freshener. So it's kind of crazy. I can't leave this without talking a little bit about my favorite application. That would be pocket protectors, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. These are available free of charge at the exit. So go ahead and pick one up. They've got my website on them. And I love the pocket protector, right? I tell my students at Georgia Tech that not only do they keep you from getting that big-ass stain on your shirt, in a pinch, they are the world's most effective birth control device. And no, I'm not suggesting you actually use them as a condom. That would be a mistake. What I'm saying is you walk in a room with one of these on, nobody's getting pregnant. Nobody's getting a sexually transmitted disease. Nobody's getting a cold, for that matter. And in fact, I wear this at comedy clubs, right? Because my pocket protector comes completely equipped with the laser pointer. And trust me, nothing says back off to a would-be heckler like a 5 milliwatt laser right in the eye. All right, so let me talk a little bit about humor in science and technology. Here's a great quote I use with my students, pointing out that humor is good in oral presentations. If you look the same thing up in a book on technical presentations, they said, no, don't do it, don't tell a joke, you are not funny. Basically, they're saying, if you're a geek, leave the jokes to the normal people. But here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. If you do any sort of technical education utterly devoid of any humor, this is what you get. The following discourse on the design of a cruise missile guidance system.
The missile knows where it is at all times. It knows this because it knows where it isn't. By subtracting where it is from where it isn't, or where it isn't from where it is, whichever is greater, it obtains a difference or deviation. The guidance subsystem uses deviations to generate corrective commands to drive the missile from a position where it is to a position where it isn't, and arriving at a position where it wasn't, it now is. Consequently,
Okay, it goes on for another 30 minutes after that one. I think you see my point, ladies and gentlemen. And perhaps this could help us with marketing. In fact, the Georgia Institute of Technology and the Obama administration realized people are leaving the engineering field in droves. This is a terrible thing, and in fact, they came up with a campaign to keep people majoring in engineering. They called it Stay With It, which is really disappointing, frankly. Stay With It really sounds like a marketing campaign for someone that just had hemorrhoid surgery. Well, Mr. Ludovice, you'll have to rub this ointment on twice daily, but to remind you to stay with it, we put our slogan on that little inflatable donut you'll be sitting on for the next 2 weeks. And in fact, it's ironic. We had the simulcast, right? When all over the country, we had the director of NASA, the dean of engineering, Gary May, and the former Intel CEO, Paul Otellini. It's Gary May, my boss, in the middle. And if you look at him really close, I just took this as a random screenshot. He kind of looks like he just had hemorrhoid surgery. And if you want to convince people to stay in engineering, just show them a salary survey. That will do the job. And I could tell you the reasons why people might be leaving engineering in droves, but you'd look at me and you'd say, Pete, we think you are the reason they're leaving. So in fact, I'm going to let the former Intel CEO, Paul Otellini, tell you why he thinks they're leaving.
And then I think, quite frankly, industry has done a poor job of saying that engineering's cool. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so many. Look at the television shows out there, and once you get beyond CSI, which is quasi-scientific, there's not much that celebrates engineering. Mm-hmm. These are people who build things.
So he claims it's that we're not showing people it's cool. I claim it's because we're not cool, right? When's the last time an engineer came on stage in a movie and acted like James Bond? James Bond, and my martini's a 4-molar aqueous solution of USB-grade ethanol. Shaken, not stirred. Or should I say, subjected to a low-frequency reciprocating oscillation, not a high Reynolds number shared vortex. It's just not cutting. And I try to do this in class. I do a lot of imitations of old people, and my students have no idea who these people are. I do Clint Eastwood, his dirty Harry, and they're like, who is that? Right? Think about it. When's the last time Clint Eastwood pointed a gun in someone's face and threatened him? Do you remember that movie? Gran Torino, right. What did he say? Get off my lawn. If you kids are out there with your skateboards again and my sciatic acts up, they'll be hell to pay. So I actually taught a unit on the Gulf oil spill, the BP oil spill a little while ago, using somebody that my students can relate to. That, of course, would be Peter Griffin here to explain this whole BP oil debacle. In fact, the cleanup is so simple, I'll let Brian, the family dog, explain it to you. Well, Peter, we'd simply use hydrocyclone technology. he said hydrocyclone. That sounds dirty. All right, Stewie, why don't you take a crack at this? Well, Brian, once again, you've proven you can bore the crap out of any technical audience on the planet. And remember this, Brian, you're smelly and you have fleas. We do need better marketing, and I don't think we're very good marketers until the appearance of my new heroes, ladies and gentlemen, the Geek Squad from Best Buy. Yeah. right? Makes perfect sense that it's marketing genius because you normal people, you like your geeks to look like geeks, right? Think about it, right? That's marketing genius. Gives us credibility until they're walking up the front steps to your house and you're thinking, is that the Geek Squad I called an hour ago or a Mormon missionary because they look remarkably alike? All right, and I'm actually going to cut through some of this stuff and actually talk a little bit about religion. Oh, and I love this one. Right, Sam, he's so cute, isn't he? That sexy mustache of his. All right, and for those of you that are not from Georgia, Georgia's kind of a weird place. We have this town called Kennesaw, right? I mean, Kennesaw is where not only you can have a gun, it's where you must have a gun, right? These are the people behind this carry the gun anywhere bill. I'm just grateful they got rid of the plank that allows them to bring a gun into my class at Georgia Tech. Because we all know what it means when you can bring a gun into my class at Georgia Tech. A's for everyone. I'm going to start with the Catholics because I was raised Catholic. The Catholics, very interesting, very progressive. They believe in evolution. They believe in genetics. They founded genetics. They believe in the Big Bang Theory, but for some reason, no birth control. That's a scary thing when you mix it with one of their other great traditions, and that would be drinking. That leads to unwanted pregnancy, and they say no birth control for you. In fact, this is the canon law they use. Anything that interferes is not allowed. That's artificial birth control. Here's the problem. We have a lot of scientific people here, and you realize it's possible for the measurement to interfere. What is the measurement? The viscosity of cervical mucus. Ugh! I just threw up a little in the back of my throat, right? And that's kind of crazy because I think the very measurement of cervical mucus, and then you plot it on a little calendar to see when you're fertile and not, will actually interfere with the results. The reason it interferes, someone's got to measure the viscosity of cervical mucus. Talk about a mood killer. You know, you got the Catholic husband with a foot-long swab, comes around the corner and says, honey, it's go time. Then, of course, did you know we're an abstinence-only state, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, we are an abstinence-only state. I found this out when my daughter came home from 8th grade health. And I said, honey, what'd you learn in school today? She said, I learned condoms were bad and they're ineffective. Is that true, Daddy? I said, no, honey, unless you're too drunk to put them on like 9 months before you were born. And it doesn't really work very well, ladies and gentlemen, because the result of the abstinence only gives us the pregnancy belt along the southern part of the United States there. And that's data actually from when my daughter was in 8th grade health. But it's a little scarier because we put these warning stickers on the biology textbooks right here in Cobb County, Georgia. That's where my kids go to school. And these warning stickers that sort of push you away from evolution make you think maybe there's a war on science. I don't know if there is, I don't know if there isn't, but one thing we'll all agree on is that it's not really a war until Ken Burns makes a documentary out of it. And if he did, it would lead to programming like this. Letters from the front in the war on science. Dearest Jebediah, we find ourselves in Georgia, home of Sherman's first march to the sea, where we've encountered Paul Brown, MD, Georgia congressional representative who tells his constituents that evolution and embryology are lies from the pits of hell. One can only imagine what a pap smear with Dr. Brown might involve, perhaps battery cables and week old mayonnaise. The origin of his views are unknown to us. Perhaps they have something to do with his liking of all things taxidermy. Perhaps he's simply a douche. Regardless, Jebediah, we will persevere until every middle school child in the state of Georgia understands human reproduction. We will make them understand that babies come from when a loving mommy and a loving daddy come together with too much tequila. Yours sincerely, Mary Chestnut. Okay, let me summarize before you turn on me like a pack of dingoes, ladies and gentlemen, and remind you of some of the important things we've learned so far tonight. Number one, new car smell will mess you up. Pocket protectors may be the world's most effective birth control device. There is no cream-filling conspiracy, despite what I had originally thought. Teaching the metric system, which I didn't go over, ask the guy with the dilated pupils, because who's the only demographic that has embraced the metric system? Drug dealers, ladies and gentlemen. They're all about the grams and the kilos. And I've seen 47 Heisenbergs walking around here. Avoid a pap smear from Dr. Paul Brown. Humor might actually help with science and technology outreach. And for those of you that are appalled that Lou and I came up here and instead of giving you useful, engaging discourse from people respected in both the scientific and the educational communities, we instead told inappropriate off-color jokes, you need to remember the first rule of nerd comedy, and that is, ladies and gentlemen, if a guy with a PhD says it, it's not a dirty joke, it's educational. And that's my time, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.
All right, one more time, let's give it up for Pete. Always hysterical, always funny, always pushing the pocket protectors. Seriously, pick one up when you leave. But next, we're going to be hearing from Steve Hill. He plays to all of the major comedy clubs in LA. He attends a lot of nationwide secular events as a headline comedian, and recently performed at the Colorado Secular Conference. Everybody give it up for Steve Hill. He and I have a lot in common.
Wow, thank you guys for that warm welcome. That was beautiful, man. That's great. Make a brother feel good. Hey, you guys out there clapping like a bunch of Tea Party members at a Klan rally. You guys are clapping like a Republican at a state-sponsored execution. I don't know whether to start telling jokes or run for my fucking life. All right, man, allow me to formally introduce myself. My name is Steve Hill, a.k.a. the King of Consciousness. I perform comedy for the 47%. From a free-thinking, skeptical, secular humanist perspective. Y'all got that? A free-thinking, skeptical, secular humanist perspective. Just don't call me no atheist. I'm already black. I don't need no extra baggage. Y'all laughing, so either y'all unsympathetic or you just don't give a fuck. We got a little time. Let's talk. Check this out. I was running around for a little while, calling myself the A word. Longest 57 seconds of my life. Yeah, because I never knew that it would warrant such a vitriolic response. I mean, there was hatred, scorn, ridicule, persecution, verbal abuse. Threats of physical violence. But you know where I'm from, they taught us we got to stand up to bullies. So I had to put my foot down. I was like, look, mother, I ain't going to church no more. You and Jesus can kiss my ass. Because that's where they get you at. That's where they get you when you're little, force you to go to church and shit. Yeah, and I'll admit, they had me for a little while. They had me. Got hooked. It wasn't really my fault. I messed around and got hooked on God's theme song. You know, every superhero got to have a good theme song, right? Y'all know God's theme song? Shit, put your hands together. Sing with me. Let's sing a few lines. He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. He knows when you've been bad or good. Wrong guy? Wrong guy? Ain't that some shit? Now think about how stupid this is. At some point in your childhood, you stop believing in Santa Claus because you know it's an asinine concept. But you continue worshiping some mystical figure up in the sky who watches everything you do and grants an occasional wish. That's some stupid shit. Oh, but don't call me no atheist. Don't call me no atheist. I am a free-thinking, skeptical, secular humanist. Shit, the only good thing about being called an atheist is you're automatically eligible for the Family and Friends program. That's right, because when they find out, you lose all your family and friends. Fuck them. That's right, man, that's right. It would be tough. Imagine how hard it would be to be a black atheist. 87% of African Americans are affiliated with some form of organized religion. That's Pew Research. That's not my numbers. That's Pew. But now that number could be substantially lower on Saturday nights because we got to get our fucking twerk on. You know what I mean. But you know what I find amazing in almost an oxymoronish, sideways, reverse discrimination type way, white people don't really mind if you're an atheist or not. Y'all check this out. I got this longtime friend named Jerry, right? Oh, damn near grew up together. We used to chase girls. I saw him fall in love, get married, start having kids. Saw him buy his first house. Saw him lose his first house. Everything's going all fine, right? We over at the house checking out. It's halftime. He looks over at me and goes, Steve, I would be honored if you would be my kid's godparent. It's like, wait a minute, Jerry. Time for us to have a little talk, fella. Check this out. Now, you know how I feel about you and the kids, the wife, dog. I love all of y'all. But I can't be no godparent. See, I'm an atheist. Dun, dun, dun. Jerry just looked at me with this confused look on his face like, so what, Steve? I don't care if you're an atheist. You're already black. Who gives a fuck? Kiss my ass, Jerry. That's right, man. Time for black people to start asking some questions about this religion shit, right? Anybody? Thank you. One person. Right. Right. Shit, you need to be sitting up front. That's right, man. We need to start asking some questions. I know I got questions. My main 3 questions is 1, does prayer work? 2, why are black people so religious? And 3, do we really need all these churches? Now, let's start with number 1. We don't really need James Randi for this one. Does prayer work? If prayer worked, why do people consistently buy more than one lottery ticket? If prayer worked, why do so many black people live in the ghetto? What did you say, sir? Because white people pray too. Oh, that's fucked up. That's messed up. Security! Believe you said that shit, man. It's all right. I understand. Yes, that's right, man. We need to start asking these questions, man. Why are black people so religious? Can anybody tell me that? I mean, black people be walking around talking about, oh, it's in our culture. We got the Holy Ghost. Like, really? For 1, your culture was stolen when you were stolen. And for 2, what are ghosts used for? To scare you. Thank you. You know, ghosts, sheets, Halloween, Boo, the Boo Klux Klan. That's right, man. Walking around talking about you got the Holy Ghost. I look at it like this. You walking around worshiping the same God that the people who enslaved you, you don't have the Holy Ghost. What you have is a fucking mental problem. Woo. Here, that was kind of harsh. Let me soften it up a little bit for y'all. You know, I'm black. You know how black people love playing basketball. That's right. I was born. They didn't take my mother to the hospital. They took her down to Staples Center in L.A. Doctor slapped me on my ass and said, come on, I think we can make the playoffs. Here, let me use a basketball analogy. If you're worshiping the same God of your oppressor, you're making baskets for the other team. Sit your ass down to the bench where you can do no harm. Thank you. Damn, I softened it up for y'all. That's right, man, all this religion garbage. Let me tell y'all, man, it's one reason, and this is why I'm an activist, atheist activist. I can't believe or worship a God because slavery actually happened. But as you guys probably know, bad things continue to happen. We got war, Ebola, missing planes. We got ISIS running rampant. Fucking a war in the Holy Land, if you can figure that one out. And bad things continue to happen. And we don't have to go back as far as slavery. Tell y'all what, I'm going to give y'all some time off. I don't want y'all to forget about slavery. Forget it ever happened. Let's move up to like 9/11. There's one for you. A bunch of religious nutcases flying airplanes into buildings. And what happened? As soon as it happened, the Donald Trump, what's his name? Donald Trump. I would have been on my God like Donald Trump's ass. And you know what he tells people? You are fired. Get the hell out of here. And who else do we have? We had that Boston bombing. Why can't God stop 2 little dumb terrorists? And of course, what did the Republicans do as soon as that happened? They try to conflate illegal immigration with terrorism. Now, I'm from LA. I know Mexicans. I'll tell you something, Mexicans ain't blowing up nothing. You get Mexicans a pressure cooker with a timer on it, you come back in 30 minutes, you'll all be eating tamales. That's right, Mexicans ain't blowing up nothing. What else we have? We had that incident in Cleveland with Ariel Castro, held 3 women for 10 years, hostage. You get a whole lot of praying in 10 years. It's like, come on, 3 years, had a kid with one of them. But you know what they say, God works in mysterious ways. Works in mysterious ways because Ariel Castro hanged himself. Oh, he didn't hang himself because he had to spend all that time in prison. No, hung himself because he figured out how much child support he had to pay. It's like, whoo, hell no. That's right, man. Works in mysterious ways. But we got issues we're dealing with, folks. I don't put no faith in worshiping anyone. I believe in voting. We got any voters in the house? Anybody political? There you go. Beautiful, beautiful. And I got to give it up to this country, even though sometimes, they all claim that we're racist. Got to give it up to this country because we not only elected, but we re-elected our first African-American, secret Christian, Muslim, atheist, subhuman mongrel terrorist who pals around with other terrorists from Kenya by way of Hawaii, whose grandparents lived in Kansas, but he organized the community in Chicago. Whew, that could get a little confusing. I could have Donald Trump asking questions, huh? Where's your birth certificate? That's right, man. I count on that, man. And why do they treat Barack like they do? Anybody notice he gets a little bit more disrespect than any other president have? Anybody even notice that? You guys don't care about Barack. We don't know. He's dealing with a lot of shit, man. And they treat him like he didn't win nothing. They treat him like all he won was like a BET award or some shit. Like, really? It's the president of the United States. And I don't want to blame it on racism. We're always blaming stuff on, I don't want to blame it on racism. I want to blame it on reenacting. This country has a propensity to reenact stuff. Who are these people, the Civil War reenactors? Right? You know what I'm talking about? Civil War people that can't seem to get rid of that Confederate flag. Always running around, they want to reenact the Civil War. We're talking about the worst war ever to take place on American soil, and they want to reenact it. I'm like, no, let's not. Hell, let's do it again. No. I look at it like this. Do you see the Jews reenacting the Holocaust? No. Do you see South Africans reminiscing about apartheid in South Africa? Be like, Umfalulu, beat me with the stick. I feel like being oppressed. No. So let's not start this reenacting with Barack, man. They're treating him like he's just 3/5 of a president. We're gonna run that back through the mill again. He's just 3/5 of a president. Man, I'm so scared I'm gonna turn on Fox News one day, see him and Michelle up at Andrews Air Force Base on the tarmac. Barack be like, come on, Michelle, we just got to go get on Air Force One. No, let's stop the reenacting. Shit, I'm a big Barack supporter. We got any Barack supporters in the audience? Barack supporters, make some noise. Man, fuck Barack. People act like you can't tell no jokes about President Obama. As long as it's been presidents, people have been telling jokes about Barack comes along, nobody wants you telling jokes about the president. Especially black people. Oh, black people lose their fucking mind. You start telling jokes about President Obama. Because they think Obama is Jesus. Just go nuts, man. I wish they could be more kind, more gentle like my grandmother. She don't act like that. Here she go. Baby, don't you be out there telling no jokes about President Obama. You see, he's holy. Well, fuck her. We elected a president. We didn't elect a pope. Come to think of it, fuck the pope too. Although this is a pretty good pope, you gotta have a pope. This is a pretty good pope. That's right, man. It's like you can't tell no jokes about President Obama with them jet black lips. Am I the only one notice how black his lips are? How does lips get so black? Look like he finished second runner-up in a chocolate pudding eating contest. Yeah. And did you see his ears? See how big his ears are? Like he had 2 satellite dishes mounted on his damn neck. Look like the mascot for the Dish Network. Oh, I know they didn't ever have to worry about paying for cable TV when they lived in Chicago. Oh, no, not the Obamas. Sure, Michelle Obama would be like, Barack! Oh, hold on. Shit, I ain't got too many Michelle Obama jokes. She looked mean. Y'all remember doing that first campaign? All the talking heads on TV was asking that same question. Is Barack Obama black enough? Details at 11. Had white people asking, is he black enough? I don't know. I've got black friends. Did I tell you I have black friends? I've got black friends. Had black people asking, is he black enough? Shit, I don't know. His lips is black. Let's vote for his lips. Y'all didn't asking that shit about Michelle Obama, though, did you? Everybody knows she black. She look like she can still pick cotton. Ooh. I know some of y'all gonna laugh at that in the car. You won't laugh now, but you'll laugh when you get in the car. Anyway, Michelle Obama will be like, Barack, get your ass out in the backyard and hold these 2 wires up to your neck. Oprah's about to come on, motherfucker. And you know Barack got to answer back. You know he get nervous when he's asking those tough questions. Well, Michelle, let me make myself perfectly clear. What do you want me to do? Is to hold these wires up in the backyard. Well, yes, we can. Act like we can't tell no joke. Fuck that. As much money as I sent that campaign, I was sending so much money, I thought I was paying child support. That's right. I'll talk about Obama, the first couple, the first family, the kids. And what's the grandmama name? Why's she in the White House? Ain't nobody vote for her ass. How you let your grandmother live in the White House? We got some kind of Section 8 situation going on. That's right. I'll talk about Sasha, Malia. Which one is the ugly one? Which one is the ugly one? Yeah, don't judge me, because as soon as I said the ugly one, she popped into your head. You know, running around the house looking like a little black Eddie Monster. Yeah, that's right. I'll talk about all of them. Now, let me quit, man. Let me quit messing with Barack. He got enough people messing with him. Who are these nut suckers, nut baggers, Tea Party members? People running around yelling and screaming and we want our country back. Like, oh, I guess you're ready to give it back to the Indians now. Heard if you get them drunk, they'll trade you a casino for it. That's right, man. So we got issues we're dealing with, folks. We got issues we're dealing with. We got the whole race issue thing. Still got riots and shit going on in Ferguson, Missouri. I don't know what it is. People don't like to talk about. Derek, close the doors. We're going to talk about racism right here. We don't want nobody trying to escape. People don't like to talk about that. And you know, the first problem in admitting that you have a problem is you really got to just put it out there and deal with it. So right now, I just like to ask, we got any racists in the audience? Racists, where you at? Raise your hand. See, that's the problem. Nobody want to admit that shit. I tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and get the ball rolling, kind of warm the room up a little bit. I got racial issues. I'm going to admit mine. You can go next, ma'am. So check this out. I'm sitting at home one night, flicking through the channels, come across this fight on HBO. All of a sudden, this racially geographic seniority system kicks in. Didn't even know I had one. Goes like this. 2 black guys fighting. One from Trinidad, one from Philly. I got the black guy from Philly. That was an easy one. All right, black guy and a Mexican fight. I got the black guy. Not unless the Mexican is from East LA and the black guy's from Trinidad. Then I got to roll with my homie from East LA. All right, 2 Mexicans fighting. One from Mexico, one from East LA. Once again, I got to go with East LA because I don't know nobody in Mexico. Okay, here where the little trouble come in. Put your seat up close. 2 white guys fighting. I hope they fucking kill each other. Yeah, they got me in group therapy for that one there. Got me in there with a whole bunch of white guys. And be like, Steve, we're going to throw your ass out of here. That's right, man. We got issues we dealing with. I'm the last one that should be talking about race, though, man. I got all kind of ethnic shit going on in my house. As you guys can probably tell, I'm black. My wife, Asian and Hispanic. My kids, totally confused. But I tell them, I say, baby, y'all look here, y'all ain't got nothing to worry about. Because your black and Hispanic side is going to guarantee you a spot in the lower middle class. But your Asian side is going to guarantee you a spot at UCLA. That's right, y'all, to see how many Asians go there. Woo! Put up a casino, they never have to leave campus. Some of y'all got that. My wife loved that joke. She's Asian and she graduated from UCLA. All right, man. Yeah, we get together, though. You know, we have good times. And my wife get together, cooking all this ethnic food together. I'm like, wait a minute, baby. You gonna fuck around and kill somebody. Let me ask y'all something. Am I the only one here to eat chitlin chalupas? Just me. That's right, man. We get together, though. We have a good time. You know, all the little family get together. It's little potlucks. Oh, it's good. I remember one time drinking those, Mexican margaritas. Got so drunk I kept spitting watermelon seeds in my fried rice. Oh, I was fucked up. That's right. We got that old race issue, man. That race thing we're dealing with. Who do we have? Cliven Bundy. What's the other races out at the ranch? Donald Sterling, Cliven Bundy, and who is it? Phil, the duck hunting dude. Phil Robertson. You guys feel a pattern developing with these guys? These people think that we would be better off and happier as slaves. I'm like, really? Like, I know a lot of black people. I don't know no black people walking around like, boy, I sure wish I was a slave. Sure wish I could get 12 years of slavery in before I die. Terrible. But now I was thinking about it, and my inner hustler kind of kicked in. I was like, wait a minute now. If we'd be better off as slaves and my current status is free, I can go online with an ad for $1 million. Do they let slaves trade on eBay? Or do I have to go to Master Craigslist? That's right, man. We got issues we're dealing with, folks. We got anybody in here from the LBGTQIRS co? Could y'all do me a favor? Could y'all stop adding letters to your name? This shit is getting confusing. One day y'all just gonna walk up for sexual orientation and just recite the fucking alphabet. A, B, C, D. I'm in there somewhere, shit. Let's stop adding letters to your name. Why is everybody so scared of gay people? I can't believe that. Let me give a little math problem right quick. It takes two straight people to create one gay person. So the way I see it, if we can get some of the Republicans to stop having sex, we can cut down 50% of the gay people right there. Right? Thank you. And here, it works the same way with gay marriage. When you have two gay people that want to marry each other, and it's not one gay person and one straight person want to get married, then that seems like the proper thing to do. How are we doing in Georgia with gay marriage? Any legislation? Anybody know? Don't nobody give a fuck? Like they gay already. Oh, man, everybody's scared of the gay people. Let's leave the gay people alone, man. I look at it like this. As long as they're not having sex with children or goats, they pretty much all right with me. What'd you say, sir? How old the goat gotta be? Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's right, man. Leave the gay people alone. Let them get married, man. So I'm from California. We had that Prop 8 out in California. Had to come all the way to Supreme Court to get overturned. Prop 8, black people. Black people did that. When they voted for Barack in 2008, they also approved that Prop 8, that garbage. Black people, I don't know why we were so, black people act like we don't have no gay people in our families. I know that's bullshit because I got a gay daughter that's bipolar. So that means sometimes she gay, sometimes she just happy. That's right, man. You can go by a church in L.A., man. You can see people in the back. Don't go outside. Them gay people gonna get you. Like, really? I'm from America, just like most Americans. We all know that the most people that really scare us the most looks kind of like me, right? Okay, y'all need a dramatization. Here we go. 9 o'clock at night. You guys all cuddled up in the family room watching some good wholesome TV show, maybe like Sarah Palin tracking something down and killing it. All of a sudden, there's a knock on the door. You get up, run to the door, look through the peephole. It's a black guy standing on your front porch, look just like me, not smiling, not telling no motherfucking jokes. Who's gonna open the front door? That's right, I ain't see no hands go up. Right, we got no reason to be scared of gay people, man. They need to be treated with dignity and respect, just like everybody else, right? Thank you. Y'all stand up for yourself. That's right, man. What else we got, man, before I get out of here, man? This guy here, what's your name, sir? What's your name? Okay. Okay. But how are they going to put that shit on a driver's license for you one day? I didn't say anything. It's all right, man. I just noticed you've been kind of looking at me strange ever since I got up here. You probably noticed I'm a little bit taller than the average comic. This guy looking at it like, shit, I went to see some comedy and a fucking basketball game broke out. I know, man. I get those same 2 questions every time I leave out the house. How tall are you? Do you play basketball? Go to the store. How tall are you? Do you play basketball? And sometimes they get real original. Do you play basketball? How tall are you? Oh, I get so sick of it, I don't know what to do, because it's rude. It's rude. It's intrusive. I mean, do you see tall people running around trying to ascertain if little people just love playing miniature golf? No, it's intrusive. I mean, do you see basketball players springing pop quizzes on midgets and shit? You know, like just imagine me being rude. Well, I'm in Walmart one day. You know, I come across a little bow-legged midget coming into Walmart. And I go, hey, hold it right there, you little big head freak. Got a couple questions I need to ask you. How short are you? How'd you get so goddamn short? You play basketball? No, because it's rude. Y'all laughing, so maybe y'all understand. Another dramatization. So check this out. I'm standing in line in the bank the other day. You know, I'm thinking the same thing everybody else thinks when they stand in line at the bank. How can I rob this motherfucker? Without getting shot. Can't afford to get shot. My Obamacare ain't kicked in yet. So anyways, I get up to the window, and sure enough, loud-ass Lala Falik was up there. Y'all don't know her. She live out in Compton. Got this crazy-ass hairdo, long-ass fingernails, and truly disturbing facial features. And here she go, loud as can be. Ooh, how tall is you? Is you a basketball player? Now, normally I'm a quiet, shy type guy. You know, I like to put my business all out there, and I really don't like drawing any attention to myself. Now I got everybody in the damn bank looking at me. I got kids walking up asking for my autograph and shit. Would you get the fuck away from me? So anyway, even though I'm annoyed, I managed to pull myself together and respond to her, like the gentleman that I am. I'm 6'7", and you can probably tell by my fucking account balance I ain't no goddamn basketball player. Hey, you guys have been great. Thank you, man.
All right, everybody give it up for Steve. Definitely 100% funny, even if you're, you know, an 18-year-old white Catholic conservative going after him. Definitely funny. Give it up for all of the comedians tonight, myself, Steve, Lou, and Pete. And give it up for yourself because you have been a fantastic audience. And I hope all of you have a great night. Thank you for coming out.